court, which had issued orders against the reconstitution of the IEBC selection panel, itself a product of the IEBC Amendment Act, which is the only statute signed into law following the National Dialogue Committee deliberations. Now that, as we have said before, Azimio had nothing to do with it, and we are not here to talk about Azimio because a lot has been happening within Azimio itself. But for purposes of reconstitution of the IEBC selection panel, it was the Kenya Kwanza coalition side and the Azimio side and others, the faith-based organizations and others. So now we demand that President William Ruto moves with speed to now put in place the 9-person selection panel for the IEBC, leading, of course, into the formation and reconstitution of the IEBC. There can be no other pretense. Others, as I said, were blaming us, and this was not an application in Kiambu. This was a state-sponsored application, and we are happy they have ordered, or whatever it is, a judge in Kiambu. We don't want to criticize that ruling. But now, the other matter in the Court of Appeal by Mr. Augustine Muli can continue because there are no orders. There are no orders in that matter before the Court of Appeal. The orders are only out of the Kiambu court. Therefore, this is a second opportunity, and I spoke about this last time when my good friend Weta, he still remains my very good friend, by the way, in spite of the talks I've had out there in the West. So, this is a time for him to forward the names. As chairperson of the Parliamentary Service Commission, I think it is the Senate, or is it the Senate clerk who is supposed to forward these names forthwith to the President, and the President should immediately put in place the IEBC selection panel. On Monday, we hope to come up with a very clear statement on what's going on in the meantime within the IEBC Secretariat itself. There are terrible things going on there, like procurement, and they're testing the ground. We gather there's somebody, a former commissioner, sitting as an advisor in State House, who is giving instructions to the IEBC Secretariat. The country is watching, and they are testing waters. If we allow them to go on with the procurement, the next thing they want to do is even procure election materials for 2027, print them in excess of the numbers that will be there, in order to further compromise the integrity of the election process. We also know that they have actually removed the server from IEBC to some other destination. Well, that is not our business now, because our main principles do not seem interested. Tume ya uchaguzi ama selection panel ambayo itajihusisha sa na swala la uundaji upya kamati ama tume ya uchaguzi wa Kenya. Kazi hiyo ina umuhimu kabisa, na sasa hakuna takshishi, hakuna pingamizi, unless of course KK wanarudia tena na kuanzisha mambo mengine ambayo hatuwezi tukaelewa. But we have been vindicated. We have nothing to do with the delay. We have had nothing to do with this delay. And now we are urging, we are demanding. Remember, we said by March if there's no movement towards the putting in place a new IEBC, we would get to the streets. There are those who think the Gen Zs have not been demonstrating, but you all know they are in the space. There are now demonstrations online, and Kenya can never be the same again. So that would be those are my remarks. My colleagues here will make further comments. I think we start with JN, and then our brother will complete because he has visitors in his backyard. Thank you.
Asante. Ni kuongezea tu kusema ya kwamba ni vyema William Ruto hakikisha kwamba IEBC commissioners are in place kwa haraka ili yaweze kunyoroshwa na opposition ambayo inaongozwa na Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Hii haitakuwa mambo ya yai ili anachorwa na ni kupagusa kabisa. Na ni asubuhi mapema amekaa akilialia mambo ya yai, sasa agoje kunyoroshwa na Kalonzo mwenyewe. La pili ni kusema ya kwamba the first task William had was to dismantle IEBC. We now have gone for more than 2 years without an IEBC. He seems set now to embark on dismantling the judiciary. The removal of the security team or the security officers from the CJ's office, because we are dealing with the office, is an indication of a person who is still bent on capturing all these institutions. If he is unhappy with judgments coming from the judiciary, he should learn to live with them, like many have done in the past. But removing security from the Chief Justice is an attempt again to capture the institution like he has captured Parliament, he has captured IEBC, and he certainly wants to capture the judiciary. Na sisi tunataka kusimama na mambo ya mahakama na tuseme ya kwamba majaji wa mahakama waruhusiwa wafanye kazi yao bila maneno ya kuwasubua hata kama haufurahii yale ambao wanatoa kama uamuzi. We demand the reinstatement of the security to the CJ and any other judicial officer whose security has been withdrawn. It is the only thing he can do. Ama pia achorwe.
Thank you very much.